Have you ever wondered why so many traders break their trading rules even though they know the rules? They set the rules themselves. They know to apply it. They know when and how to apply it. But when it's time to apply it, it just so happens that the rules disappear. Well, in this video, I'm going to share with you the reason why most traders break the trading rules and most importantly, how you can avoid falling into that same cycle. And later on in this video, I'm going to share with you a simple framework that explains all the things that lead up to the moment and cause you to go against your trading rules, because the truth is most traders already know what they're supposed to do, but there is just a gap between knowing what to do and actually doing it, and that gap is what I'm going to break down in this video. Human beings are emotional beings. Things like that are so common with every single human being because that is just the way we are wired. We act based on our emotions, not logic. When it's time to take action, our emotions take over and logic is thrown out the window. So it's a very, very common thing when a trader faces such problems. But there is a way to make sure that the emotions that takes over is in line with the rules you set and not how you feel like acting in the moment. So, out of curiosity, I know there are so many reasons why traders break the rules, but out of curiosity, I asked traders on Instagram, on my Instagram, what is the single biggest reason that makes you break your trading rules? And I got some pretty interesting responses. Emotional states, not following routine, focusing on outcome, forcing trades at the end of the trading week, say on a Friday, if there were no trades taken earlier in the week, too much discretion. Now, these are just some problems that exist. There is so many other problems. You probably can list way more than I have just mentioned. The truth is that though it may seem like the problem is so many, it actually comes from the same root problem. If you look closely, all these things come from one singular angle. Knowing that in all the reasons that constitute to you breaking your trading rules, that it all comes from the same root problem, it leaves behind a very big question, and a question you're probably wondering right now: what then is the problem? Because the truth is that many traders, you yourself, you know what to do the right thing. You have the routine and systems and processes in place to take action when it's necessary. But when it's time to take action, it just doesn't happen. That's because there is something that happens between knowing what to do and actually doing it. And I'm going to bring that to your awareness. So the real issue is this: there is a gap between knowing what you should do, what rule to apply, when to apply it, and actually executing it in the moment. When you are calm, before you enter a trade, you make your rules. This is what's going to happen for me to enter the trade, and this is what's going to happen for me to exit the trade. But when you are in the trade, you find that your emotions take over, and when your emotions take over, you make decisions that are against the rule that you set earlier. This is what I'm about to explain to you, a simple framework that actually explains what leads to these moments. And here it is. This is very important. Please note this down. Your thoughts influence your emotions or feelings, and your feelings and emotions influence your actions. That is it. That is the reason why when you are in a trade, your emotions changed, and that's because your thoughts changed. So whenever you feel your emotions change, always know this and always remember that your emotions have changed because your thoughts have changed. And I'm going to give you a simple illustration of, before you enter a trade, you have certain thoughts, but while you are in the trade and something happens, your thoughts begin to change. And when your thoughts change, your emotions change. And when your emotions change, your actions change. There's a reason I'm emphasizing this again and again and again. I really want it to get stuck in your head that whenever your emotions change, especially if it's emotions that are not in favor of doing you well as a trader, just know that there are thoughts behind those emotions. There is a law of cause and effect. For every cause, there is an effect, and for every effect, there is a cause. So, for every emotion, for every negative emotion, there is a negative thought, and for every positive emotion, there is a positive thought behind it. In this case, the cause is the thoughts, and the effect is the emotions. Now, we'll focus more on the thoughts part because that is the cause. If you are able to fix the cause, which is the thoughts, then you are able to fix the emotions, which is the effect. Don't focus on the effects, don't focus on the emotions, focus on the thoughts. Again, I'm emphasizing this over and over again. Focus on the thoughts, don't focus on the emotion. Focus on the thought, don't focus on the emotion. Now, let me give you a simple illustration of how this actually happens in a real world trading setting. So let's say you enter a trade and the trade begins to go in your favor. You feel good, right? Because you have good thoughts. Oh, this is going my way. If it hits my TP, if it hits my targets, then this and that, it's going to happen. But then when the trade starts floating in the drawdown below the break even line, your thoughts change. And the reason I know your thoughts change is because your emotions change. Whenever you feel your emotions begin to feel weird, discomfort, and all of that, that's because your thoughts change. Your thoughts have changed from, this is going my way. I'm a good trader. I'm going to make money. I'm going to do this and that and that. But when it's in drawdown, your thoughts change to, what if this actually goes for my stop loss? What if this trade actually takes me out? Does that mean I make no money? Does that mean that I'm not as good as I thought I was? So your thoughts change. And that is the reason why your emotions feel weird. So now you understand the source of the pain point of most traders. Now you understand why you break your rules. Now you understand the leading cause of it. So what is the way forward for you? How can you put things in place to make sure that you're always following your rules? How can you manage your processes or environment in order to make sure that the rules you follow are not from emotions but decision? That is what I'm going to explain now. I'm gonna give you 2 points, and I really need you to take these 2 points in and act on it as soon as possible. And the goal of these 2 points is to reduce your decision making while you're in a trade. Every decision you make on a trade, let it be before you enter the trade, so that while you are in the trade, you only take action or you only execute on rules that you set before you enter the trade, not developing decisions while you are in the trade. So the first thing is you need a set routine. To place a trade, it only takes about, let's say, a minute or less to execute on the trade. Now the question is, what are you doing the rest of the day? Are you staring at the charts? That is a very, very bad thing to do. Consistent, profitable traders don't stare at charts. They have a set routine, they have things that they do during the day, and they just focus on that. When, what they do is that they set alerts, they set alarms to let them know when to check the charts for the setup that they're waiting for. And then once they've set the trade, then they will get back to what they were doing. So you need a set routine, because that routine is gonna make sure that you are not always staring at the charts and making up things in your head and taking actions that you're not supposed to take. Secondly, you need predefined rules for trades that you take. Before you take a trade, you need to set out rules. This is the rule I'm going to follow to enter this trade. This is the rule I'm going to follow to exit the trade. This is the rule I'm going to obey to not take the trade at all. If this happens, I don't take the trade. The whole purpose of all of this is to make sure that while you are in a trade and it starts doing some things, your emotions don't make up rules and decisions for you to take in the moment, because that has never led you up to anywhere good, right? When your negative emotions influence you. So once you make sure you have rules before you enter a trade, know that if this happens, this is what I'm going to do. If that happens, this is what I'm going to do. That is how consistent, profitable traders do it. So you need a set routine and you need predefined rules that guide your trades. That way, you make as little decisions as possible while you're in a trade, and all you have to do is do what you said you were going to do before you entered the trade. In the next video, I'm going to share with you how to actually build discipline as a trader, and building discipline is what's actually going to help you to be able to consistently follow these processes that I've listed out to make you stop breaking your trading rules. If you're a trader trying to build real discipline and consistency in trading, hit subscribe right now and check out the next video.